Squad member Cori Bush setting off a new controversy as people across the nation celebrated Independence Day. The Missouri Congresswoman tweeted this, quote, "When they say that the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this. The freedom they're referring to is for white people. This land is stolen and black people still aren't free."
New York Times decided, hey, July 4th weekend, let's put out an editorial about how, and a whole story about how flying the American flag from the back of a pickup truck or over a lawn is increasingly seen as a clue, albeit imperfect one, to a person's political affiliation. Guess which affiliation that might be?
The very freedoms and liberties that allow these individuals to post this, to pronounce this, are the very liberties enshrined in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, that are recognized in the Declaration of Independence, that we get our liberties and freedoms from God. That's where it comes from.
Yes, slavery was despicable and is today despicable wherever it exists in any form.
These elites, they refuse to condemn the slavery that is really going on in China. They refuse to condemn the slavery, for instance, that continues in Africa.
If you look around the world at places that don't have this foundational freedom, that's where oppression reigns.
Why is it that people who come here and have experienced fascism from somewhere else and then land in America, and they're so grateful to be here and they know this is the greatest country, why are they not the ones who are attacking the flag or attacking America? It's because they know the truth. They know what it's like in other places.
Can I ask a question to all these critics of the United States? What country would you rather live in?
A Christian nonprofit is challenging the IRS after the agency denied them tax-exempt status. They're claiming Bible teachings are typically affiliated with the Republican Party.
We went to court in 2017 and obtained a permanent injunction, declaratory judgment, against the Internal Revenue for doing exactly this. And as soon as the Biden administration gets in with their head of tax-exempt organizations, they go right back to what they were doing before against the Tea Party groups and the pro-life groups who they were targeting.
The IRS is saying that the Bible is a political document. Essentially, the IRS is saying that it can capriciously void the constitutional rights of American citizens.
There's a legend that is created for this letter, which I haven't seen in other IRS letters. This is kind of interesting. They created a B through M letter indexed. What you'll first notice is that the letter D stands for Republican.
You instruct individuals on issues that are prominent in political campaigns and instruct them in what the Bible says about the issue, how they should vote. These issues generally are associated with political party platforms. These facts preclude you from exemption under the IRS Section 501c3.
That is contrary to both the IRS's own regulations as well as constitutional protections for free speech and free religious exercise.
It's the American way to be involved and engaged in politics on both sides of the aisle, but they continually go after conservatives and Republicans.
This consent decree that we got, which, by the way, disagreed with Lois Lerner. The consent decree specifically found that the IRS had done something wrong, that Lois Lerner had done something wrong.
The IRS has engaged in an excessive entanglement with religion in violation of the Constitution.
How high up in the chain of the IRS did it actually go? And we're going to find out who came up with this legend.
13 states are suing the Biden administration over a rule in the federal stimulus that bars states from using relief money to offset tax cuts. The Attorney General is calling it, quote, one of the most egregious power grabs by the federal government in the history of the United States.
The Biden administration said we're going to bootstrap the state governments and tell them what they can tax and not tax. And if they take our money, they cannot lower the taxes. It didn't say if you take our money, you can't increase the taxes on your citizens that are suffering during this pandemic. But what they did say was if you take this money, you can't, Harry, lower your taxes.
The approach that the Biden administration has selected is to grant high-tax blue state governments shelter from red state competition.
Every state is going to take those dollars to try to help their citizens recover from the pandemic. If you take those dollars, you cannot reduce your taxes in any way. We're not just talking about income tax. You cannot have a net reduction in state taxes in any way. And Jay, one more key point here. It's not just for this year. You can't do it all the way through 2024.
This is a political power grab by the Democrats in Washington, and they're basically saying we are going to try to rebalance the entire economy of the nation by preventing interstate competition, which is possible under the United States Constitution.
We won the case at the district court level. So the good news is the court said this was unconstitutional.
This battle's not over.
Nope.
The Biden administration's not going to give up at the district court level.
So they appeal it, and we're going to be there to fight that appeal. But that's where you come in, folks, and help us by standing alongside us so we can continue this fight.